Restream, what are you doing? There we go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome on in to another episode of 0 Hour, a Transformers podcast. Where I'm your host, Extra Zero, trying to go over all the news that I found cool and interesting within about an hour or so. If you're new to the channel, welcome on in. And if you are watching me here live on YouTube, we got a chat over there. Already got people in there. So if you're watching me live, you want to be part of the conversation, please pop in to the chat. I'll be highlighting your comments and interacting with your comments throughout the course of the show. Before we get into it, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and hit that like button because it helps me out in the algorithm. And if you're not already subscribed, well, hopefully tonight is the night that I earn your subscription. So if you do subscribe, make sure to ring that notification bell. Because I do have some other content planned. Life's been a little hectic for me lately, but hopefully after my vacation, I kind of get back on track. I've got some stuff planned. I know I say it a lot, and then I get into editing it, and I'm not happy with it. But there will be additional stuff coming. So if you do subscribe, ring that notification bell so you stay in the loop when I put additional content up on the channel. Well, hope everybody is having a great week so far. It's been a little busy for me. I was supposed to go into the office today, but some stuff came up. I was supposed to actually go up to Pennsylvania and ended up not doing it. So that was why I postponed last night. I got up early this morning and then stuff came up and I was just like, yeah, have to call it off. So I got up early for basically nothing, a trip I didn't make, but it's all good. I'm happy to be here hanging out with you all this fine Wednesday evening. I hope everybody's having a great night and has had a great week so far. I'm pretty excited. I got Donkey Kong Bonanza coming out tomorrow. I've been hyped for that game. No, I'm not a gaming channel over here, but I am thinking about maybe firing up War for Cybertron. We got some news about that too. So I'll get that. We'll talk about that one in a little bit, but there's a mod that came out. If you're not aware of it, the game is kind of hard to get on PC right now. But yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit here, because it's actually pretty cool. It's actually really cool. But yeah, before we get in and say hi to chat, let's go ahead and knock out one of my favorite segments every week, and that being this week's Restream. What are you doing? I don't know why. It's either StreamYards or Restream. They're both equally bad. But yeah, we do Gronking on Dogs. If you're into gaming news and discussions, I'm a co-host on another podcast, the Gronking on Dogs podcast, or Gronking Gaming podcast, I should say. We also have Gronk Squad, but we do cover gaming news. We use StreamYards over there, and StreamYards has been just as temperamental. But this week's Fear of the Week is a relatively new release, and one that is probably going to find its way in my top 10 third-party figures of 2025, that being Mastermind Creations' Tyrantron Rise. So this is their take on a Stormbringer Megatron, and I did not have his backpack tabbed in properly. Everything on this guy is super. Let me take his mace out because I don't want the mace flapping around. Everything on this guy is like super secure. But this, like Optus Pexus before it, is a hyper-articulated figure. In fact, this is actually a very, very heavy retool of Optus Pexus. Very, very little is the same in transfer. And knock this sword out, so we'll move that to the side. He holds his weapons okay. They're on the little pegs. He holds the mace better than the sword. I think the sword's just a little on the long side. But I mean, this has that kind of like Astrobot style articulation where you can anything you want to do with this guy, you can do. They thought about it all. Like they even have like an extension on the neck. So if you want him to like be able to look up all the way or look down all the way, you can do that. He's got a diaphragm. He's got a full ab crunch here. Full ab crunch. And some of it's because of the transformation, but just some of it's just they engineered it that way. He can do the whole teapot thing. All of his armor gets out of the way. And when I first saw this guy at TFCon Baltimore, if you go back and look at my Baltimore footage. This was one where I was like really not sure how they were going to handle a kibble, and I wasn't really sure if it was going to be intrusive in person. I can tell you that when you get this guy and you start messing with him and start articulating him, it all just really comes together. It's very cohesive. Just nothing gets in the way. Yes, he does have hip skirts. I know T-Man hates hip skirts, but he's got drop down hips, so the skirts are not impeded at all, which is awesome. I mean, he can get all the way out to the side and get that full Jean-Claude Van Damme. You can give him the full splits, I think. Yeah, because he's got the drop down. And they even have like fake. I love when they do this. This is one of my favorite things on MPO1, the fake hydraulics in there. And he's got them here. He's got like a collapsing bit. It's the same legs as Optus Pexus. You get a like nice deep knee bend, ankle and toe articulation. This really is one of my favorite Megatrons in my collection. And he's just a nice addition to the IDW shelf, the comic shelf, really. And you get a lot of options with this guy. He also has those MMC hands. Like he can get like the full splay on the fingers. I don't know how well you can see that, and they're not like the old KFC hands. I won't transform him on camera. The transformation isn't bad, but it just takes a minute. It's not fiddly. It's just like it's a third party transformation. I will say probably like I don't hate the tank mode, but it just kind of forms this kind of like long tank. It does look the way it should, but I don't necessarily think that the juice is really worth the squeeze. He's way better in robot mode than tank mode, but the tank mode's not bad. We'll see the tank mode if you haven't seen it already when we talk about one of the Toronto exclusives. But, you know, it's funny for me to say, like, yes, this is going to be in my top 10 third-party figures of 2025, but I'm not a huge fan of the alt mode. That's not to say the alt mode's bad. It's a tank. I mean, what are you going to do? Paint on this guy is phenomenal. I mean, he's reflecting in my light here. So all this is silver paint. Let me turn this light off. Maybe he'll show up a little bit better. Let's see. Still reflecting off of my monitors. But like I've applied like a not a water slide, but a dry transfer decal that does not come on their stock. But like I was just finding so many pieces articulation on this guy. Like this missile pod is articulated on a ball joint. I wish this gun was on a ball joint as well, but like you can get the shoulders out of the way. You can have them sit down a little bit more flush. Everything on this guy feels sturdy and durable. The paint feels really good. I haven't had any issues with chipping. MMC tends to do a pretty good job. And one of the other things I like too is these treads. Like these are not rubber treads. These are plastic treads, and they work really, really well. And they're both on the backpack and on the back of the, well, not on the back, but on the calf. So this is MMC's Tyrantron Rise. I picked this up from Agabus.com. Agabus and Toy Dojo are probably my two favorite independent retailers domestically. I tend to pick up a lot from them. So shout out to Hanny for getting this over to me pretty quickly. And yeah, if you can't tell, I give this guy a huge thumbs up. He does come with two other faces. He comes with like a smiling face and a screaming face. I opted for the stoic face just because if it would focus, I just really liked how the stoic face looks. He also comes with a black helmet. I thought I was going to like the black helmet better, but I ended up actually liking the silver one better. And then, of course, he comes with Fusion Cannon, which was on him. I thought this was going to be just a reissue of Decepticon, their IDW Deathsaurus mace, but it's not. And this is a mace with actually soft rubber tips, which I was surprised. Normally, third party goes hard, but it's got a metal chain. I actually don't mind that it has soft tips because you don't have to worry about them breaking. And you also don't have to worry about them scratching up any paint, which is nice. Like I do like how it's like silver and transparent. And then his sword, which is transparent and silver and black. Really well done. It's also got 2 points on the hilt for him to hold it. So, yeah, another really, really well done figure by MMC. I'm really, really excited for their Fort Max. Not part of the title. We don't have anything on that. We'll get to that. but that Fort Max is having that similar articulation. So really excited to see how that comes. And I'm sure, especially given what we got as one of the Toronto exclusives, be prepared for multiple repaints of this guy. I'm sure we'll get one in gray. I'm sure we'll get one, with the construction worker colors. In fact, there's a little Easter egg when you open up the chest. There you go. But yeah, just a really, really well done figure. For me, this is going to be a one and done. I did buy some variations of the Pexus, but that's just because I also collect Nemesis Primes, and I had to get one to be my Orion Pax and one to be my Stormbringer Optimus. But they did remold it. I'm sure we'll also get remolds of this guy. God, if they turn this into a Super Megatron, though, they might get me. But that's Tyrantron Rise. Highly recommend the figure. And that is my figure of the week. So let's check up with chat real quick, and then we'll get into the news, because boy, do we got a lot of stuff to cover. Primarily third party. This is going to be a very third party heavy episode tonight. So let's get into it, see how everybody's doing. We got my dude Princeton Phalanx coming in saying hello. Always good to see you, Princeton. We got Mario Roca coming in saying hi again, Extra Zero. Good to see you, Mario. We've got Aquateki in here saying salute to the host and chat. Good to see you, Aquateki. And also saying War for Cybertron. Ooh, yes, this is some exciting news. And yes, we will be talking about SDCC. And we will be talking about that next Lego Transformer. It's official reveal. And yes, I did also get Alchemist Prime. I got Alchemist Prime this past weekend. He's really good. And I got Vortex from Amazon. Vortex is also pretty good, but I'm not a big fan of the forearm kibble. But the transformation is really neat. And he's a solid and sturdy bot. So I do recommend him. But the Alchemist is like exceeded my expectations. So if you have to pick between the two, I'd say get Alchemist. But otherwise, I think they're both really solid bots. Go ahead and get this War for Cybertron thing pulled up real quick. And of course, it's thundering outside right now. So hopefully that doesn't cause any issues for me tonight. But I had the article pulled up, but of course, you get this thing with MSN now. But let's get into some convention news real quick. Then we'll go into SDCC. Unfortunately, this is another week where we got more sad news. But 2025, I think, is just a year where we got a lot of celebrity deaths. But we got to talk about them. We got to respect those folks that contributed to the hobby. So first and foremost, TFCon Toronto came and went. There's still time if you're interested in going to TFCon Chicago. That's October 24th through the 26th. You can still get the weekend pass. Those are still available. It's they've got a few. I'm curious here though whether they hike the price up, because it says you can buy the weekend pass, but down here it says that it's $60. But it says, oh, okay, includes early admission Saturday access to the program. I don't know what this discrepancy here is with the weekend pass for 70, 72, and 60. But if you're interested in going to TFCon, you can get individual day passes or the weekend pass. We don't have any new guests to announce. David K was the last one. I'm willing to bet that the next MMC exclusive, we can definitely say that Mega Octane will probably be one, considering, well, we'll get into it with Toronto. But yeah, if you are interested in going to a TFCon this year, I do know a bunch of folks that are going. I think Deluxe is going, Patriot Prime's going. Still an opportunity to go if you're in the Midwest or able to travel out there. So SDCC right around the corner. We got a schedule for the Skybound panels. Now, again, this doesn't guarantee that they're going to announce anything, but it seems like they probably are, especially given the popularity of the Transformers comic right now. So Thursday, July 24th from 1 to 2 Pacific, they're going to have the Robert Kirkman live panel. Saturday, the 26th, they're going to be doing Image Comics Artist Unleashed, and that's from 3:30 to 4:30 Pacific. Then they're going to be doing the Energon Universe panel, which I'm sure everybody is probably going to be most excited about, since that includes Transformers, G.I. Joe, Void Rivals. That's going to be 4:30 to 5:30 Pacific. And yeah, I don't know whether or not they're going to announce a cartoon or if they're just going to be cheeky and hint something about it. But the Energon Universe panel, the details in here say Transformers and G.I. Joe all-out war in the Energon Universe. The biggest year for the Energon Universe is here. Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Void Rivals from Skybound continue to top charts, and we aren't letting up. Superstars Robert Kirkman, Daniel Warren Johnson, Joshua Williamson, Sean Makowitz will reveal their plans for the Quintesson War, the Dreadnought War, and more in a panel that will have everyone on the edge of their seats, moderated by Arnu Singh, who's the VP of Skybound. So that should be an interesting panel, and I feel like if anything is announced, it probably will be at the end of that. They also are going to have some variants sold, and that's, you know, I don't see anything for the Energon universe, but I do think that you know, in that Energon universe panel, which again they brought really everybody in, DWJ, Kirkman, I think that we'll probably get something at the end of that, if anything. They're also doing signings there, so exciting stuff. Then of course, there is going to be a Transformers panel at Comic-Con, so that's going to be on that Friday. So that's going to be was that the 25th, I think, July 25th, and that's going to be from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific. So I'm sure that'll be on YouTube. I'm guessing that if anything, they'll probably do some reveals there. They'll probably also do, you know, again, that's following the Image panel, so who knows? I think we'll probably see some of the Studio Series comic stuff revealed there. I mean, we already know that the timelines, Bumblebee and Megatron, is being repurposed as an exclusive for SDCC, so that'll probably go up on Hasbro Pulse. We might get something else. I think the Void Rivals Jetfire multi-pack is also set for an SDCC exclusive, so those are probably our two exclusives, unless there's a surprise one. But I just imagine they'll probably go into like what they're doing with Studio Series for the comics. Maybe we'll get some more Age of the Primes reveals, maybe see a couple more of the Primes. But there could be some synergy that happens there. So another interesting panel is following that, 7:30 to 8:30 Pacific. They're doing the Making Living Being Creative panel. They're going to have their production manager, Stephen Edwards, an illustrator, Lee Koch, John Bailey, who I've been blessed enough to interview in the past when I was with Figure Action. You might know him as Epic Voice Guy, Hunter Ditch. And they're going to be talking about how they broke into the entertainment industry, working in films, games, and comics. And yeah, I think that should be an interesting one. I might watch it because of John. He's a good dude. I really enjoyed getting to talk to him. So there's what you have for Friday. Saturday, I mean, this is kind of a retread of what we read. There is an animation showrunner panel from 7:30 to 8:30, but it doesn't say anything about the Energon universe. So we'll see. Maybe, because it just says the panel pulls the curtain on showrunning role in animation, offering practical insights on actionable advice. Rob Hoagie, Frog and Toad, Nicole Dubach, Transformers Earthspark, Anki, Theophilopoulos, Zombies Reanimated Series, Natasha Klein, Primos, share their unique journeys, demystifying the challenges and daily responsibilities of overseeing animation productions. I don't think we're going to get anything for the Skybound cartoon, but if you're interested in hearing anybody who worked on Earthspark talk about that process, there you go. And then also, this one's a cool one. On Sunday, they're doing an Ultimate Storytelling Crash Course Masterclass with Daniel Warren Johnson. That's going to be from 11 to noon Pacific. And I got to meet him. I obviously did a video on the channel. I really recommend listening to this one. He's somebody that was really responsible for the Transformers portion of the EU being what it is. he really got these characters. He's very passionate about the brand. So I think this is going to be a really good panel, and I hope that I hope that everybody gets a chance to watch it, because this is a guy that just loves the hobby, loves the stories, loves the characters as much as we do. So if you get the opportunity to, I think this is going to be a good one. Now, hopping over to Transformers cartoons, it's a little bit interesting. So I watched Transformers Cyberworld, and it's okay. It didn't. I can't say it like blew me away. I will probably continue watching it. I think the animation was decent. I think it was actually pretty decent animation. The story didn't really hook me. It's just like, Optimus lands on this planet. It's kind of similar to Wild King in a lot of ways, save for the fact that there's no combining gimmick. And I'm just, I guess, trying to figure out like what it's all about. This is like a 10-minute long episode. The production values are not the highest, but I will say it does definitely feel better than Wild King. It kind of just sets things up, introducing the Prime, and then you get this to meet Grimlock and Bumblebee and the Bull version of Megatron show up, and they're kind of in this world where they get energon by playing video games. It makes sense in the context of what you're watching. I think kids might like it, but there wasn't really a hook to it. It kind of felt a little generic, but at least like I want to see where they go with it. What is interesting, though, is that this did get a lot of views. So this came out 4 days ago over the weekend, and it's already at nearly 340,000 views, which I think that's pretty good. The channel, the Transformers official channel, has 2.15 million subscribers, and it's also kind of interesting to look over here, seeing like Beast Wars. The first episode of Beast Wars has 1.6 million views, but I feel like that's like probably like a lot of old heads like myself, like, oh hell yeah, I can watch Beast Wars for free on YouTube now. I do want something for kids to be successful. I've said that many times, and I have not pivoted my stance on that at all, but it is promising to see this having some moderate success, especially when it hasn't even really been advertised and the toys haven't even really made their way onto the shelves yet. People are just now getting them. We also did get episode 8 of Wild King, and what's interesting is like about a tenth of the views on Wild King, like 38,000. Looks like they introduced Nemesis Prime in this one. I kind of just really dropped out of Wild King. I mean, it's gotten fan subs, but like the story is just so nonsensical, and I can't get over the fact that their mouths don't move. Yeah, I do really like the design of Nemesis Prime here, but yeah, I will probably stick with Cyberworld, especially with it being on YouTube. Just kind of seeing where it goes. Hopefully it improves. Hopefully as they start adding more characters, hopefully the characters have character, because off the cuff, I will say Grimlock was the only interesting character. They give him like a Russian accent. He's just this big bruiser chasing after Prime. Prime is pretty generic. B is pretty generic. Megatron's a very generic villain. I feel like that the character is lacking. I feel like the character is lacking in both of these. So I hope that it picks up. I hope it improves. Because again, I would like there to be new fiction that resonates with the younger audience, and I do want there to be new fiction that resonates with the general audience. I think I said it over on the panel I did with Junkyard Crafts and Builds, that I really want this Kirkman series to kind of have that same vibe that the original X-Men cartoon, well, not the original X-Men, but the Fox Kids X-Men cartoon had, where it's meant for an older audience. They're adapting mature stories, but they're adapting them for a general audience. So like new fans can kind of resonate with them. Like there's stuff that's going to go over their heads, but at the end of the day, it's something that they can watch and enjoy, and it's going to help build the fan base. So into the sad news, former Hasbro CEO Alan Hassenfield, who was actually one of the heirs of the company. I mean, Hasenfield, the Hasbros. That's where the name came from. Unfortunately, he passed away at the age of 76. Hasenfield was one of the people who, during his tenure as CEO, oversaw the birth of the Transformers brand in the 80s. And it goes on to state that, yes, he was part of the original family that started Hasbro back in the 20s, Hasenfield Brothers, Hasbro, yep. And he was the last of the Hasenfields to act as CEO. In addition to helping transform the company into the juggernaut it is today, he also started to contribute. He became a philanthropist, really. Did a lot of philanthropic endeavors. I did see Aaron Archer post some really touching things about him. He just seemed like a really good dude that cared. And it would be nice to have a CEO of the same caliber serve the company. Yes, I am taking a dig at Chris Cox, but rest in peace, Mr. Hasenfield. And I do appreciate for all your contributions because, well, I certainly made my childhood a whole hell of a lot brighter. Move into some better news here. This is really cool. So we got a little bit of gaming news. And this comes from The Gamer, but I originally saw it over on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. And they write that while we all wait for Activision to re-release the best Transformers game, someone made it 4K, 60 frames per second. Yes, a fan has remastered War for Cybertron. And ultimately, this is a mod pack that came out. I believe you can get this over on, I know there's a GitHub, but I think this was the original tweet that I saw from Rohan Carr saying that Transformers War for Cybertron increased texture pool for 4K, 60 frames per second, LAA patch applied. There's a field of vision tool, 16 times anthropomorphic filtering. And basically, this is just a mod if you have the original game. Now, you can no longer buy the game, but I will tell you that you can legally download it if you go over to archive.org. So archive.org tends to host a lot of games that have been delisted. Now, you won't be able to play it on Steam, but you still can acquire the game for free. I mean, up until they decide they can reuse the license and sell it again. Pretty sure that you can download it from archive.org and you can apply this mod pack to get the game looking the way it should. So we'll head over to X here and we'll get here and look at some of these screenshots, just kind of showing how it's looking. Kind of hard to see, but yeah, I'm thinking about getting this mod pack and playing it over stream. So it depends on whether or not I'm doing anything with Gronking this weekend, but maybe I'll make that a Saturday evening thing where I'll get this installed. Because I actually do own the game through Steam. I bought it before it was delisted, if I remember correctly. So yeah, maybe it'll be worth just checking out, seeing how it runs, seeing how it looks, and just having some fun hanging out with people and playing the game. So before we get into official news, let's catch up on chat. We got Mario coming back saying Cyberworld has a little bit of memes thrown in, like Optimus being chased by Grimlock, references to dress. I did see that, the objects in me, like it has the Cybertronian writing and yeah, that was pretty cool. Bumblebee in the crater. Yeah, Bumblebee looking like Yamcha in the crater. And the post from Family Guy. I didn't notice the post from Family Guy, but I definitely did see Bumblebee looking like Yamcha in the crater. I did like those little cheeky animation touches. I won't lie. I just, like I said, I just want the characters to have a little bit more character. So I don't think we're really going to get too much official news up until SDCC hits. But we did get that unofficial reveal of Lego Soundwave last week. Well, now we have the official reveal, and this comes courtesy of the Lego International listings. We get a look at Lego Icons 10358G1 Soundwave. Set's going to consist of 1,505 pieces. It stands 13 centimeters tall, includes a sound brick. It was going to retail for $179.99 USD, and it releases this August. So I have to sell some stuff so I can get that, because I need this one. And I feel like this one, given the Bumblebee kind of drying up, I feel like Soundwave is a popular character. He's probably going to go. But we get some additional, and I've already seen there's reviews on YouTube So, I mean, of course, Lego has this little animated video here, like to play it, but I don't want to get copyright flagged by Lego. But we get a good look at the box, and yeah, of course, they show you up here. Yes, it's transforming. He comes with Laserbeak and Ravage and the Sound Cube. I do think for the asking price of this, for everything you're getting, it is. I think that you are getting a pretty good amount for your buck. I mean, you also get the small Soundwave too, which apparently scales with the Brickheads, Prime, and Bumblebee. Apparently, there they show it being built. These are all stills from the video showing you that Ravage does transform, Laserbeak does transform. They fit into them. Again, very simple transformation because, hey, it's Soundwave. But yeah, I think the internet collectively is excited for this. I still find it funny that they only have 3 fingers. Like, 3 fingers in the thumb. But still, really cool stuff. Large MP scaled sound. I mean, you're not going to put him with your MP collection, but yeah, he definitely is going to look pretty nice next to Prime, and showed him on a shelf in both modes. So really, really cool stuff. I will probably be picking this guy up again. I'm gonna have to. I have all those NECA gargoyles. I should probably just sell those NECA gargoyles and use the funds to pick this guy up. But there you go. And also, too, another thing, he does come with a clear yellow piece. So if you wanted to have, I also like this too. They have like you can have like an option on the front of the tape deck to have either Laserbeak or Ravage in there, and then he comes with the optional yellow visor for anybody that wants the yellow visor Soundwave. You can do that. So there you go. Mario saying people are speculating about what will be revealed at SDCC. Yeah, I think we'll see Age of the Primes. I think we'll see those Studio Series comics figures. And there you go. I wish that they didn't put them on these like shoebox lids so you could see them all like in scale. And I'm sure people are going to be like, oh my God, he does the lamppost mode. I mean, granted, this is all supposed to be like mid-transformation. But you totally could make him the lamppost if you wanted to. I think probably the only place people are going to complain with this guy is no forward hip articulation, just because of the transformation. He can kind of do an A stance, but you're not going to get like hyper articulation out of this guy. It's a Lego after all. But yeah, looking very good. Now, another interesting one for Studio Series. This is a rumor, but it comes from JT Prime 17, and JT Prime 17 has never been wrong about any of the stuff that he has gotten listings for. And this one is a Studio Series roleplay item, being the 86 Matrix. And I think that's a really awesome idea because there's been Matrix props over the years, but a lot of them like have like Hard Hero, and there was an early third-party one. People just really wanted a cool-looking Matrix to sit on their shelf that has electronics and maybe sounds. If this is real, and I'm sure this might be actually something we see at SDCC, if this is real, I definitely am interested. I know in the past they have done, helmets. They did my wife picked me up the Bumblebee movie helmet, as well as the Modern Icon ones that weren't made by Hasbro. And I know that when The Last Night came out, they had an Optimus Prime helmet that was, that version of Optimus, and it was painted up pretty well. I don't think that was reviewed under the Studio Series line, but they have dabbled in Transformers props before, but I think the Matrix would be an awesome one to do. And if that's the case, I am 100% in on that. Then this one's interesting. We got what could have been. We got some Rise of the Beast concept art by Eddie Del Rio. What's interesting here is we get a good look at Predacons. So we get a look at kind of an original look at Scourge and his weapons, some early looks at Mirage, some early look at Scourge's weapons, but we get 2 Predacons, well, actually 3 really. We get Waspinator, Spidor, and Ramhorn. And I kind of hope we get these as Studio Series concept art characters. This is the original look for Scourge, and I don't like it. He looks an awful lot like one of the Geth from Mass Effect. And then here he looks a little bit more like Lockdown. You can still kind of see the mask on him. But yeah, here he looks... his form looks a little bit more like what he did in the movie, but very lanky and skinny. Then, of course, we ended up getting the concept art version of Scourge in the original Studio Series toy, which is kind of funny how that kind of works out. Then you see a different one where he looks a little bit more like the Fallen, which I kind of don't mind. And then a different version of the gun. Then we get a more G1 looking Mirage, which actually, to be honest, I kind of like this head sculpt quite a bit. Then we get one that looks more like a racing helmet, sort of in keeping. Then just another picture of Scourge. Another version of that blaster on that kind of Fallen looking body. This one's really interesting. So we get Waspinator, and Waspinator looks so cool here. He looks a lot like his animated version. And I do really hope that we get this made into the concept art Bumblebee. Maybe they could make this a mold and then do like an updated animated Wasp and do this, concept art version. You can even see like the Wasp head in the chest, which again looks a lot like the angrier animated version that he had versus the Beast Wars version. I like this a lot. Then we get Spidor, which is an interesting one. I see what they're going for here. You can see like the frog head kind of split, and he's got like this weird, like kind of like T-shaped head, looking like an undersea creature. I don't hate this one. It kind of gives me like animated Spidor vibes, but definitely an interesting one. I would have liked to have seen Predacons in the movie. Ramhorn also looking pretty cool. Ramhorn looking a lot like a Transmetal 2 character. It kind of reminds me of Scarum a little bit, but would have been cool to have seen, another bug-based Predacon. And those were our looks at some of the cut characters from Transformers Rise of the Beasts. And then real quick, we get a bunch of new Blockies listings. And these actually come from Robot Kingdom. So we've got the Blockies or Blokies. I keep saying Blockies because my friends say Blockies, but it's actually Blokies. We get the Defender version 4. And in that, it's called the Tyrant's Fury set. They're giving us Grimlock, Hot Rod, Scourge / the Sweep. I don't know if like the Sweep's going to be a chase or they're just kind of doing one to encapsulate them all. Blitzwing, Rumble and Blue, Shockwave, Hound, and Shattered Glass Megatron, as well as alt mode versions of Starscream, Wheeljack, Rodimus Prime, and Brawl. Then they're doing the Galaxy version 8, which they're calling One Shall Fall, which includes Optimus Prime, Rodimus Prime, Shrapnel, Sludge in his dinosaur mode, Unicron's head, which I'm really interested to see how that works, and how that works as a little tiny model kit. Metroplex, again, interesting to see how that's going to work out, if he's just going to be a wee little guy. Sludge in his robot mode, and another Blitzwing. Then they're doing a movie Jetwing Optimus Prime, but they haven't specified a class, as well as a Megatronus Prime from Transformers 1, which again has no size class as well. But interesting stuff to see. I really love to live vicariously through my friends with that collect these, watching their videos, watching them put them together. I really love when Deluxe puts them together, Patriot Prime puts them together, Captain Kyle puts them together. So, always like to see what Blokies is cooking up. And Princeton, yes, I did. And funny enough, that's going to be the first thing we're going to be talking about with third-party news tonight. So DNA Designs, they wasted no time. Oh, get that back up. And they took that. So, the Megatron Godzilla crossover figure, I think everybody was saying two things. One, it's really lazy, and two, just you wait till DNA Designs gets their hands on this, and DNA did not disappoint. So here's everything you get in what they're calling their Monster King upgrade kit. You get new arms for the beast mode. You get new fins, a new tail, new feet, a bunch of filler pieces, and that amazing looking head. So you can see how this stacks up, the original and the upgrade kit. Now, I will say one thing. I do like the clear on the neck a little bit more. I wish that they could have kept that in here, or maybe they did that as a bonus piece, because I think that was probably like one of my favorite details of what they had going on here was that clear blue. But this still looks great. I mean, this is something that Takara Tomy definitely should have done. And you can see the head is blast effect compatible, so you can give him his atomic breath if you so choose. Those new arms really look good. And that tail just looks absolutely good. Absolutely stunning. And, of course, you can get him in his classic diving pose. And you can see here, too, this is how they manage the tail and the transformation. It just kind of works as a sword. And the back fins also work as a shield. So there is a bit of parts forming. But, I mean, if you're getting this, you're not going to get this to have him in his robot mode. You want this to be a transforming Godzilla. I mean, that just really is what it is. There's how the arms are going to store in bottom. I'm curious if you can plug the shield into that port right there if you just wanted them to hold his sword. I also wish that they had done something to like maybe store this blaster or turn it into something else. You can see how the new toes work. I'm guessing you just fold these up. Maybe you're gonna have to knock the pin out. Not really sure on that, but I'm guessing you're probably just gonna fold those up and they're gonna flip around. But it could be that you knock, and then of course you have fillers for the bottom of the feet. You can combine up the sword and the shield for a big weapon. But all in all, it's looking pretty good. And they're showing him fighting the Mechagodzilla Optimus, which I'm curious to see what stops they pull out with that one. But yeah, it does to me look like you're gonna have to push out the pin to get those new toes in, which is unfortunate. But you know, it does look like the juice is worth the squeeze on this one. I think this one, do they have a price on this yet? I don't think they do. I would guess somewhere under $40 for it, but I can see this kit actually selling the figure now. Then, courtesy of Third Party Limited, from a Weibo user, we get a look at a repaint of DX9's version of Sideswipe into a G2 Sideswipe. Now, I do have the official G2 Sideswipe, and I have the Rambo upgrade kit for it. I'm very happy with that. But if you missed out on it, I think this is a really, really good-looking version of G2 Sideswipe with actual proper weapon storage. I do wish they had gone all out and given him all of his weapons, like the bazooka and the ammo belt and all. But DX9 did an awesome job here, adjusting that paint sculpt. Adjusting that head sculpt, and the paint deco looks really good. So if you missed out on the original and you're a G2 collector, I think this is going to be a really, really good option for people. And I'm sure there also will be an add-on kit to give him the ammo belt and all that good stuff. Next up, we get a look at Optus Secchio, which is an Apex Armor add-on. And this is an actual prototype from MMC for their Optus Pexus. And yeah, if you want to turn him into a God Genrai or a God Power Master Prime, whatever you want to call it, it looks like you'll be getting the opportunity to do so. And there he is stacked up against the Make Toys version. So it gives you an idea of, I think it was Thunder Manus, an idea of how big it's going to be. And stacking up against Overlord there. So you're going to make Optus Pexus a very big bot, and it doesn't look like it's going to hinder any of the posability there. So pretty cool stuff. Now, I'm curious if this is going to form its own little God Bomber. I'm guessing it's probably going to at least form some sort of trailer form. But right now, this is all we have is just this gray resin prototype. Now, to get into the meat of it all, we're going to look at TFCon Toronto. And kicking things off, we get an exclusive. This was a surprise one, especially considering that Tyraniton Rise just came out, but they already repainted him into Megaplex. So this was one of the two MMC exclusives. The Mastermind Creations R 53D Tyranoplex. And this is up on, if you happen to go over to Planet Steel Express, they've got these up for pre-orders right now. We'll look at them a little bit more in the third-party panel pictures here. But, of course, they did their two convention exclusives. And, this is a very nice-looking deco. I'm curious to see reviews and see how this guy looks in hand. I think TM Reviews already has an unboxing video up. I'm curious if the silver is any different because, again, going back to Tyraniton Rise, this silver is very, very, very shiny. So I'm curious if that silver on Megaplex is more muted or if they just said, hey, yeah, we're going to give him blue accents instead of red, and they called it a day. Normally, MMC they're very, very thorough with their paint decos and all. So let's get into everything we've got. And normally, TFCon Toronto tends to be a more laid-back convention. Like typically, you don't really get a huge third-party panel, but this year they have a pretty big, or had a pretty big panel. So first up, we get Mechanical Skull Studio, and they kind of do those kind of larger than legend scale figures, and they're continuing on with their Armada Seekers. So we get their take on a Thundercracker and a Skywarp, and of course, unlike Hasbro, they come with their Minicons. They don't have any actual gimmicks, but there you go. And they're also doing a Demolisher. This is their prototype of that. So I think prior, all we had seen were, 3D renders, and now they actually have a real resin prototype. So excited to see what that ends up looking like all painted up. And this one's interesting. So I'm guessing they're also doing a G2 Megatron, but not really sure what this is supposed to scale with. 135 millimeters is about 5 inches. So I guess it's supposed to be a big Legends figure. But I love G2, so if anybody wants a G2 Megatron for their Legends set, this is pretty cool to see. So, and also he's got some major posability going on, which is also really cool to see. Personally, I as excited as I am for the Fans Hobby one, I would love to see somebody do like if MMC were to do an MP scaled one. I'd be really interested in. Also, they're going on to say he's got full rotation on that turret, so it'll be interesting to see how that engineering all works out. And also showing off a G2 Optimus, and that's the I think that's the Combat Hero Optimus. So, yeah, really cool to see. I'm not a Legends collector, but a lot of my friends are, and looking forward to seeing the likes of Deluxe review that guy. Robot Toys. They have been knocking it out of the park lately, and they've been doing a mix of Masterpiece and Legends. So off the jump, they were talking about their reissues of their Optimus Primal and Beast Megatron Legends. Also showing off their Tigatron and Cheetor, which I think have both been out. Also doing a toy deco of Tigatron, which looks pretty good if you're into that. I do like that toy deco head. I'm sorry, that Toon head with the toy deco looks pretty nice, considering Hasbro only kind of gave us the bug head, or I guess it's a cat skull head, not a bug head. And they went on about Lord Venegon, which has been out. That's also one of my probably top 3 third-party figures of 2025. If you missed out on that guy, definitely picking up. So this is nothing new we've seen. But they are repainting him. They're doing a Sandstorm, and they're showing off the new head there, as well as a toy deco. So if you're interested in the toy deco, and if they do it in kind of a clear plastic, that'd be interesting to see. We get a color render of their Beedrill, which is their MP scale Waspinator. And I'm excited to see, how that works out. He's going to be a little over 6 inches tall. So he should be pretty good scale next to the official masterpiece, Beast Wars. And there we get a red. I can't tell if this is CG. It looks like a CG gray prototype, but this could actually just be a gray resin prototype. It's hard to tell, but that sculpt is just really on the money. And as good as Lord Venegon was, I'm really, really excited to see how this works out. Then also they're doing a Legend scale Tarantulas. I wish they were doing an MP scale Tarantulas as well, but I'm sure they probably will, because really we just need Waspinator, Tarantulas, Air Razor, and Inferno to complete the season 1 cast. So it'd be cool to see them knock that out. Then picking up where TransArts left off, they're doing a Rampage, and this is a masterpiece scale Rampage. They're calling him Kraken, so we just get some renders here, but this looks really damn good. Really, really damn good. And just kind of curious to see how this is going to scale. Rampage is a smaller character than I think people remember, so I'm sure there might be some complaints out the gate. They're also, not to be outdone, doing a Depth Charge. And again, this looks really, really good. The proportions are just spot on, animation accurate. And just looks like he stepped out of the cartoon. And even going as far to show, yes, he does do his weird vehicle mode that he used like once or twice in the show, considering he's only in a handful of episodes. But really, really looking good. And then we get into some third-party add-on kits from Non-F Productions. They are doing a Gigastorm upgrade kit for the Power of the Primes, or the, I guess, not Power of the Primes, I think it was Titan's Return, or the Age of the Primes Triptychon, if you want to convert him over. Since I'm sure a lot of people probably picked up, I think that Larkin's Lair was in this camp where he had the Titan's Return Triptychon and said, well, I'm going to make that Gigastorm. And I'm sure this will, they do these collaborations with Toy Hacks. I picked up the Metalhead conversion kit for my Party Wallop at TFCon Baltimore. And this is going to be in stock this August. So I'm sure this will come with the horn, sticker sheets, and hopefully a few more parts, making him into a full-on Predacon. Also cool, there's an LED option for the horn. So really cool stuff to see. They're doing a Bludgeon upgrade kit for both flavors of Bludgeon. So if you have the orange or the green, you can get multiple pieces for them, and they're showing them down here. These are going to be available this month, and be curious to see how all that works out. But I definitely like the set for the orange Bludgeon, especially giving him the proper turret and proper gun. I may pick that up depending on cost and what all it comes with. Then we get into New Age, and they're showing off stuff we've already seen. The animated Ratchet, which looks very, very good. I still can't believe they managed to take Trailbreaker and turn that into a Ratchet. So, And Princeton, yes, I agree. It would be nice if they started making those Beast Wars 2 figures, especially since we got Tasmanian Kid and Lio Convoy or Lio Prime. Need a Galvatron. That would be really cool if we get a Commander class Galvatron. But yeah, this animated Ratchet looks really cool. And there he is fighting their Lockdown. They also made from Trailbreaker. And then, of course, they have the yellow version of Hoist, the Shattered Glass Hoist, which... Is that Shattered Glass or is that a G2 homage? I can't remember. But this one's interesting. We get into Typhoon from New Age, which is a Dinobot combiner. So that big Dinobot, that Volcanicus set, that was New Age. So this is going to be interesting to see. Again, this is mostly a tease here. I know there's a lot of people that like their Dinobots to combine. I personally don't, but I will say New Age does a really good job with their engineering. And when they get the opportunity to work with a larger scale, stuff like Duel or Romulus or they're like the movie Soundwave they did, they really knock it out of the park. So not for me, but I'm going to be following this one because I'm just really curious to see what kind of engineering tricks and cool things they do with this, and also how the individual Dinobots end up looking, because it looks like they're kind of, I know that the Grimlock is very stylized, but it's kind of interesting. You look at the heads of these limbs, the heads and bodies, like, Slug or Slag, Sludge and Snarl, they all look very G1. Even Swoop's head looks G1. So it's going to be interesting to see how this comes together. Even Grimlock's head on the chest looks very G1. And I won't be shocked if they end up turning this into a Dino King. I will not be shocked if they mod it and turn it into, and then people will be like, okay, you got my attention. Craftsman Toys, relatively new company. They've got their Computron coming out. So first up, they've got Afterburner. And then their Scattershot. We've seen these before, but these are just, I think, really additional pictures going on here. I think these are Legend scale too, if I'm not mistaken. But again, it's cool to see Computron getting tackled, because I feel like the Technobots get forgotten quite a bit. So, you can see how it looks all combined up into Computron. And yeah, he is doing the parts forming thing, which I think is fine. I think that makes for better combiners versus the all built in. As much as I like MMC, You get a look at light speed there and Scattershot. These are also a little bit stylized as well. And you get a good sense of the scale. I guess these are kind of more chug sized than Legends, to be honest. So if you wanted a more, more chug scaled, or something that will fit in with your chug collection, this would definitely work. So it's not Legends. That's cool. And okay, I take that back. Craftsman Toys is doing that other Volcanicus. So that is the stylized Grimlock we looked at. So New Ages is very G1. Let's go back to that. I stand corrected. Scrolling down. So New Ages, yes, they are doing a more G1 style. So I wasn't just seeing things. I had it mixed up. Craftsman is doing that big old Volcanicus with the stylized bots. And again, I won't be shocked if this doesn't get turned into a Dino King as well along the lines. Then we get into Hammer Toys, and this company definitely is making a bunch of Legends. Now, this is a new company. This is not their logo. They just were cheeky and tossed this into the slides. But they've got a Legends scale Cybertron Optimus Prime, and this looks really, really good. Really, really good here. I just wish, again, Legends fans are eating good. I wish it was a little bit bigger, because I'm not a big fan of the one that we got from Siege. So that was a very lazy retool. But there you go. Compared to a Coke can. And he does all the stuff, the core robot, the combiner. I'm sure this is one where Lance is going to be like, well, what do you mean you don't like Legends? It's not that I don't like Legends. I just can't get in on that. I can't go down that rabbit hole, But this does look awesome. Another new company, Toy Buddy. Not familiar with them, but They are doing some MP scales, or I guess these are probably going to be more like 3-0 scale, but they're doing a Rise of the Beast Bumblebee. And there you go. You got a prototype there done up in silver for whatever reason, as well as a Scourge, which this guy is going to be big. He's going to be 32 centimeters, so he's going to come in at about 12.5 inches. So really, this is going to probably fit in with your 3-0 stuff. But all we get is that silhouette. Dreamstar, this is a company that does very, very stylized figures, and they're showing off more of their Constructicons here. I believe this is their take on Scrapper. Or is it Bone Crusher? Yeah, no, it's Bone Crusher. So, there you go. Again, I like these. I kind of like how they look to me like the way that I always thought Transformers would look in a live-action movie. But again, it's a case of if I had infinite funds and infinite space, I'd be inclined to get some of these stylized combiners. But I'm staying in my lane and keeping it to G1 and Beast Wars and the stuff that really resonates with me. But yeah, it's a good looking bot there, and I'm curious to see more of the alt mode. Again, this looks like it's in the prototype stages, probably needs a little bit more paint. And they're also showing off their fully realized Devastator. Of course, they're mirroring the arms and legs, but you get an idea of what he's going to look like when he's all combined up. It's not hard to imagine the barrel for Mixmaster and, the crane going on there. Then they're also showing off, I guess I can't really tell what that is. That is their Mixmaster. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, there you go. There's Mixmaster. And then we get 01 Studio, and they're just showing off their Primus, which, again, this gold Primus, I think it looks good. I know it's not for everybody. I do like how it kind of fits kind of a comic vibe a bit. I have the regular one, but with the price hikes, there's no way I'd be like, yeah, get this one over the original one. TF Source frequently has the original on sale for what I paid for it through Asian sites. So this is probably going to be a case too where I think patience is going to save pockets. I don't think that this is going to sell really well, and I think this is definitely a deco we're going to see on clearance. But I do think it looks good. Now, BoardCon, the more I see of them, the more I like. We're not really getting any new pictures here, but it's cool to get an MP scale broadside. I really can't wait to get him on my shelf. And he's looking pretty much done, so I'm hoping we get a release date for him very soon. Everything here just looks really well realized. Since he got revealed in Baltimore, I've been really hotly anticipating this one, and I hope he comes out before the end of the year, because it's probably one of my most anticipated G1 characters from my third-party collection. Then we get Bylon, and they're doing Legend scale stuff. They're doing a movie. I think this is already out. This, movie one, Revenge of the Fallen, first movie trilogy Prime. And there's a Nemesis deco you can get as well. Again, Legends fans are eating really good. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Mang Motion already has this, as you can tell. They're doing a Jetfire, which, again, with the transformation and the combining gimmicks, you're never going to get a clean Jetfire. Though I will say this looks a bit better than both of Hasbro's efforts. And he's going to be a big Legend scale figure as well. But there you see him in his bot mode. I think that paint is probably a little bit too glossy, and I would have liked to see more copper accents in him. But I still think he looks pretty good for what he is. And towering over Prime. And my power is flickering here, so hopefully I don't disconnect. If I do, that's why. But you get the Jetwing Prime. You can totally get that combination going. And he looks like he comes with an alternate head for that as well. So again, Legends fans are eating pretty good. For me, I'm happy with the Studio Series 1. That's probably going to be the only movie Jetwing Prime I get. They are also doing a Sentinel Prime, which is pretty cool to see, as well as what appears to be an evasion mode Optimus. I can't tell, but the smokestacks and the build of it kind of look like that. But yeah, pretty tidy looking Sentinel. Probably the tidiest his back kibble has ever been. Magic Square, they're doing some cool stuff. They're doing their super deformed Optimus Prime repainted into Magnus. And I did not get this. I ended up getting the Lucky Cat one. Partsformer sold me his for really cheap. Though I have always wanted to check this out. I do love Magic Square. So who knows? Maybe at some point I'll get one of these. But pretty cool that you can make him actual Magnus here. They're teasing that out. So neat stuff. Then of course they've got Tornado, their version of Vortex, which is currently on its way to me right now. I'm really excited to get that figure. So yeah, reviews for him should be popping up within the next few days. And yeah, all of their Combaticons have been awesome. Their Octane was really, really good. Brawl was definitely one of my favorite figures last year, and Swindle's pretty good too. And that's how they're shaping up. I really can't wait to see their Blast Off and how they complete the set. I'm hoping Blast Off comes with all the parts. I'm hoping that they don't, make us wait, because this set's going to be replacing my Zeta. But there you can see, I believe that Tornado comes with the torso bit for Bruticus, as well as the head. Then we get Lucky Cat, who's another really good company. We've seen these super deformed Predacons before, and then also their Combaticons, not Predacons, looking really, really cool. And I love the fact that the combiner parts actually can be used to make a little super deformed 6-member of the team. I just think that's a really cool touch. You can have your little super deformed Bruticus there and just keep all the individual members like on their own, or you can combine them up if you so choose. And there he is with their Predaking, at least the combiner parts. And yeah, he's a cute little Bruticus. Again, another thing where it's just another rabbit hole. If I had unlimited space and unlimited funds, but I don't. So this is a pass for me. And I even love the fact that they gave you options if you want a tune or a toy chest. And they get their Volcanicus here. And then we looked at this, I believe, a week or so ago, the little Beast Megatron. I might cave and get Megatron and Primal. I love Beast Wars that much that they might be fun little one-offs for me. And that's the Rise of the Beast Prime that I have. It's such a good figure. Then we get this new company, Transformers Dreamwave, and they're doing a tidal wave. So I guess this isn't a tidal wave. This is just an add-on kit. Yeah. Or no, this is a scaled down tidal wave. So if you wanted a more tune accurate tidal wave or tune size tidal wave, there you go. And he can still combine up with your Galvatron or Megatron. And if you pre-order them, you can get, little mini cons to plug onto them that don't transform. So cool stuff there. Again, no idea of like what this is going to cost, but also neat that looks like he can store up in there as well. Toy Notch, good to see them back again. I know Lance is a huge fan. This isn't really Transformers, but and Princeton. No, I haven't talked about Fort Max yet. We're getting to that. Astrobots, they are awesome. My buddy Lance is a huge fan of these. They're made by the same factory that does MMC stuff. Really high quality plastic. It's good to see them coming back. This is their Apollo Python, and he's a fully armed up figure. This Atlas, however, looks really, really cool. It looks like something from Beast Hunters. But yeah, Astrobots are awesome. I have a couple of them. That Atlas, I think if I were to get either of the two, the Atlas would be the one I'd want, because it's a completely new mold, whereas this one is just, it's a great mold, but it's just, you know, a retread of the Apollo mold. Then MMC, we get a look at their Tyranplex, which is their Megaplex, the redeco of Tyrantron Rise. And you can see he comes with the silver head. I think the black head's the way to go for this one. I kind of wish they made the fusion cannon completely black on him. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what differences there are outside of the blue when people review them. Optus Secchio, yes, he does make a little trailer for your Optus Pexus. And of course, we've seen the armor. Then the Perfection series, we get Fortiflex, which was the other exclusive for Toronto. So yeah, again, this was the repaint of their Brawl. Of course, they changed some stuff up with the chest and all. Obviously, Mega Octane, I think, is going to be the one that we get after, but this was Armor Hide in Robots in Disguise. If I remember correctly, I think he was Armor Hide. But yeah, repainted Brawl. I'm looking forward to the pre-orders going up. They did say that you are going to get the add-on pieces, the gold toes. I think those are probably going to either probably come with Mega Octane. But you know, all in all, looking pretty good there. And I've got the Vortex on the way to me now as well. Toy Dojo got their not Vortex, Blast Off version. I think that was Movor. But yeah, that's on its way to me. So Megalith, I'm guessing this is going to be a Chicago exclusive, the Mega Octane. And we'll get the set completed this year. I like the fact that they managed to squeak in that BotCon exclusive. And this set just as a whole just looks very, very, very good. I love the fact that we're getting a new gun with them as well. And I'm looking forward to having this combined up. Then, of course, we get a look at their Constructicons. We get Demolitor, which is their version of a Mixmaster. And I think you just need to see the paint. But yeah, I have seen these in person. Incertus is getting a toy version. I had it right the first time. And I think this is shipping out now. And I do like the way that the toy deco looks on Groove. Then, of course, they're going over their tapes, their ram horn, and Stripes, which they probably had additionals available at Toronto. Fans Hobby, they had a bit to show. They have Hangman, which was their exclusive from the Chosen Prime. And my buddy Oscar had his comic included with that, which is pretty cool. Then, of course, they're doing the purple Star Saber. So if you want to give one to your Megatron or Galvatron, you can do that. Then they're, of course, continuing in with the G.I. Joe vehicles for Classified, which, you know, this is the Cobra Fang. So cool stuff there. And then we get to Fans Toys. I'm rushing through this a little bit just because also, too, we're a little bit past. And I also am hoping that I can get to talking about Fort Max without the power going out on me. So first, we got Turbo. They're finally doing a wind charger. And I think this has been desperately needed. I think the best thing that Fans Toys does is their mini bots. And I think the X-Transbots wind charger was fine for its time, but it's got a really fiddly transformation, and there's certain things about it that just don't look the part. So I am really excited for this to come out. I think this is a really good looking wind charger. And I'm sure also with this, we'll get a new tailgate as well. Vehicle mode and bot mode look really, really good on them. This one's interesting too. They are dipping their toes into doing a Computron. Uslid, which is their strafe, is the first one they've revealed. I'd feel better about these if Fans Toys prices aren't what they were. To be honest with you, I'm dreading when Dead End comes out, because this is the way everything's worked out with their combiners. But I would like Technobots. So we'll see. I'm waffling on this, but I probably will wind up getting these for my Technobots. And also, too, it's like, how long are these going to take to come out? And also, given the size of the Constructicons, these Technobots are probably going to be freaking huge. So, we also get a look at their nose cone as well. So they really are coming out the gates firing with their Technobots. And I mean, these are probably the most tune-accurate Technobots you're going to get. But again, I think that they're probably going to wind up being a little bit bigger than they need to be. Then we get a look at their version of Long Haul, Calavantra, which I think this is the first time we've seen him in color. And I'm guessing he'll probably be ready pretty soon. This is a good-looking Long Haul. I'll say that much. I wasn't too big on Wright and just the way that he looked. You know, they're I believe it was was it Scrapper? I think it was Scrapper. But yeah, this is a very good-looking Long Haul, and you can see how he works as your, well, not entirely as the torso. He's going to be the lower torso, but all renders there. Then we get Fortificus Titanicus. It looks like they are still doing their Fort Max. So, interestingly enough, you get multiple robots with this. So these are all renders, kind of showing the LEDs, and yeah. I don't know how this is going to work out. You get a look at their version of Blaster compared to the sword. I feel like this sword is going to be 3 feet long. I think Fort Max himself is going to be 4 foot long. You get option parts for the sword. I think this is just definitely one where I'm going to have to say no. I have Cerebros. Yeah, I just, again, like the way Fans Toys prices have been, like there's the gun next to their blaster. I mean, it's huge, absolutely huge. I don't know. I feel like this is going to be an interesting one. I think on the low end, I think that this is going to be this is probably going to be about like $1,500, especially since you're getting a full size cog with them. Which, you know, again, if they're baseline this figure at like $100, I hope they sell cog on his own, because I would get cog, but I do not think I can get that body. One, I wouldn't have any place to put it. Two, it would be odd just having Fort Max and not Metroplex. I have the Titan ones up on a shelf. They serve their purpose. They're my representation on the shelf. I feel like this is like kind of like one of those pipe dream ones for people, especially considering that, like, you know, the Lewin Resources one ended up coming out, that Metroplex. But yeah, there's just no way I could get this. I mean, you know, coming in at you know, 1200 millimeters. Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, this is like just under 4 feet tall. So yeah, no. And again, too, are they going to sell this in pieces? Are they going to sell this all up front? How are they going to do it? Well, yeah, and I'm hoping that they just kind of sell cog like they did Cerebros. If they were to part this out and be like, oh, you get an arm, you get 2 arms, you know, you have the wings, the torso, might be a little bit more digestible. But yeah, this is just this is a really tough sell really, really tough sell, especially since, again, as I mentioned, I have the Titans. I'm happy with the Titans. And it's not a collect them all for me with Fans Toys. I can respect their ambition on this, but yeah, I do not foresee me getting him. Like, you know, I will waffle on certain ones, like going back to like the Technobots. I'm like, yeah, they might be too big, but objectively, they are the best looking Technobots. And it's like, okay, you know, I want G1 Technobots. They're doing them. I hope Magic Square does them. If Magic Square does them, I'll be like, yeah, F the Fans Toys. I'm going to go Magic Square. Because at least with Magic Square, I know they're going to be a lot more budget conscious, and they're going to look just as good. They're going to have that toon aesthetic, and they'll probably be sized correctly, you know, since they'll do the whole parts forming thing. But yeah, Fort Max, I don't see a reality where that is possible for me. I will admit it looks cool. Also, we don't know how long how many years away this is, because they're showing this off. They showed off these renders at the TFCon Baltimore before last, and now we're just getting new renders. You know, how much of this is like, hey, we're trying to gauge interest. We've got prototypes of the weapons. We got a prototype of Cog. I'm sure they'll probably sell Cog on his own. Maybe they'll sell the weapons on their own. Who knows? But yeah, I don't foresee the Fort Max in my future. Let's see here. Mario, no, I did not see your comment there. It said you wanted the commanders. Let me go back and find that one. It says, not only that, still waiting on getting the opportunity to get the other commander class from the Age of the Prime to Silver Bowl. Apparently, he's showing up in Target now. So if you're waiting for brick and mortar, I would start checking Targets, because there have been some sightings there, and Amazon did get theirs in. All right, well, went almost 90 minutes tonight, so that's gonna wrap it up for tonight's show. I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm feeling blessed that I did not lose power, because it is very angry. My wife's been texting me going like, yeah, the house is rumbling and it's angry outside. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I hope that, thank each and every one of you who tuned in tonight or watched on the replay. If you are watching on the replay, let me know, what were your favorite things from Third Party Panel? Are there any things that really stuck out for you? Is there anything that you're really super hyped about? Anything you're not really feeling? How do you feel about the Fort Max? Let me know. I do read the comments. I do respond to them. And if you haven't already and liked tonight's episode, make sure you hit that like button. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. And yeah, if I do go live with War for Cybertron with the mods this weekend, that notification bell will come in pretty clutch, because, well, you know, you'll get that notification. I'll probably try to put something on the community tab if I do it. If I'm not doing something like Gronk Squad, or if I'm not playing Donkey Kong Bonanza, because I'm really hyped to play that game tomorrow. But yeah, that's going to do it. So again, thanks to all of you, and I hope everybody has a great week ahead, a great weekend ahead, and stay safe out there, because there's a lot of storms going through the U.S. right now. Hope you all have a great rest of your week, and I will see you all on the next one. Peace out.